start with the weekly fantasy recap, just kind of what happened this week and who did good, who did bad, what happened on Ash's team, because that's what we're
Alrighty, so this week I tried to trade Russell Wilson not once but twice, and both of my trades got denied, and I'm still honestly trying to trade him, but he went absolutely off. He heard me talk shit, and then he decided to put up 27 points. So, you know what? Go you, Russell Wilson. Literally, I had 2 trades, and I'm like, please trade me, and I got denied twice. So rude. And it was in the girls' league, which I always underestimate them. So I'm like, oh, they'll just trade me. They don't know what they're doing. And then both of them denied me, and I was like, well, that's very rude. Maybe you do know what you're doing. I have another trade in for Russell Wilson. I'm just waiting to see if she'll trade me. Someone else that did really, really well this week is Austin Eckler. Again, in the girls' league, there were 2 really good teams going against each other. One scored like 130, but the other one scored like 160 because Austin Eckler decided to score 3 touchdowns. So that was fun for her. He went off. He's been doing pretty good, though.
He was rough a couple weeks.
Well, running back wise, it's
been rough. I saw a stat. So Saquon Barkley is currently the rushing leader, and he has the lowest amount of yards for a rushing leader in like 10 years or something for the NFL as a whole. So it is the whole entire NFL running backs just aren't.
You can feel it.
Producing.
It's very inconsistent too, and it's very, I don't know, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire is scoring plenty of points as far as running backs go, but his yards are not great. He just scores touchdowns. So it's like James Conner last year just scored touchdowns, just stayed scoring touchdowns. That's CEH this year. Justin Jefferson went off after having a rough 2 weeks. He finally got back in it. TJ Hawkinson went off, had like 40 points on your bench, so that was a good sit you did there. I love TJ though, and it's funny because I had sent you a post and it was like all these players are out for the Lions and still Jared Goff will find a way to not get the ball to TJ Hawkinson because he just hasn't been what I thought he was going to be. He hasn't been that great, but then he went off. Amazing. Speaking of people on our bench that went off, Sanders was on my bench and went off with almost 30 points.
Miles.
Yes. I hate those Eagles running backs. If you have Kenneth Gainwell, you might as well just drop him because he's not the guy. Andrew. Another one, Chris Olave did good. He scored like 16 points. I saw he was on a lot of people's benches. I'm excited about him. I think he has the potential to be Rookie of the Year. Tom Brady did good despite them losing. Mo Alley Cox on my bench with a solid 26 points, but why would you ever play him? You wouldn't. I literally almost dropped him, and I'm just going to keep him around for funsies. Damian Pierce was on my bench in one league, so that's really sad. I think now I've done enough weeks of watching him that now I'm like, okay, I'm just going to bump you up to starter because start off slow, and then he's just progressively getting better. Another one that I'm just going to start now is Dobbins because that was another sad one that I didn't start that scored a lot of points. Who else is trending up? Plays for the Titans.
Robert Woods.
Robert Woods is another one I had no faith in, and then now is starting to trend up. And with Treylon Burks hurt, that's another one I really like. People that are dead on my team are still Cam Akers. I hate it. Sean McVay is irritating. I was like, fine, don't play Akers. Then I'll play Henderson. That's fine because I have both of wherever I have Akers, I have Henderson. I was at least smart about that and got the backup.
I have a theory.
Now it's even. I don't even know if you're going to play Henderson or Akers. It's up in the air. So
I'm pretty sure that Sean McVay plays fantasy football, and in one league, he drafted Cam. And in the other league, he drafted Henderson.
Yeah.
And he just has fun with it.
Like, I need points from both guys. Yeah. Or you know what? I'm down in this game. I need Cam to get more points than Henderson this week. It's just, I hate it. I don't really love running backs this year, though. It's really hard because, like you said, they're just not, as a whole in the NFL, are not getting points. But why is that? Why is it so bad this year?
It's turning into a passing league. It's just all.
You think? I know Andrew talked about it too. A lot of leagues have like 2 backs now that they split carries between.
Mm-hmm.
I actually posed that question to Andrew on his show last night. Do you guys think that this is just kind of an anomaly this year? Obviously, we've seen a lot of injuries to the top backs in the league, but do you think that we ever trend back to the bell cow backs that are winning leagues for people every year, or do you think this is just the way things are going to be now?
So I think it goes back and forth. I think it goes up and down because the league is all about trends and what's happening, what's winning now, and then when everybody's running the ball really well, people try and switch to the pass because everybody's playing run defense, and then so that when everybody starts to switch to the pass, everybody gets the nickel and dime packages where there's a lot more corners and safeties on the field and less big linemen, less linebackers. So then they start running more. It's literally it just ebbs and flows as they're always trying to one up each other. And right now it's just a pass heavy offense, and so defenses are going to start switching to playing nickel and dime to try and stop the pass, and then the run is going to open back up, and it's going to be back to running, and you're going to need that bell cow.
But do you think? And here's my biggest concern with it is how many teams have had such success running the football in a 2-back system. Because for most of the time I've been watching football. You leave your back in there. It's a rhythm position. You have to let them get their touches. And what we're starting to see is these 2-back systems where that second back can literally step in and be effective immediately, while the starting back gets his breath. Do you think that is the future of the position? Because it also extends the lifespan of these running backs. I mean, to be honest, without Tony Pollard, I think Zeke would possibly be at the end of his career because he's such a power runner, and the punishment he's already taken in his career, the injuries have already started. I mean, without Tony Pollard spelling him, his career is going to be so much shorter. So, I mean, do you think that is the future of the position?
I don't think so, because you still have, the most dominant running backs in the league right now are Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, Najee. Like, those are power guys, still grind you down. And although that's not what we're seeing right now because it's a pass-heavy league, those guys are the ones that, they beat you up for 3 quarters. And, this was your favorite thing about Dallas when Zeke was a rookie. You just keep feeding Zeke, and by the time you hit the fourth quarter, he's round you down, and now he's going to eat. And that's what Derrick Henry does. That's what Jonathan Taylor was really good at. That's what I want Najee to be eventually. He's got the size for it. It's not popular right now because of the pass-heavy offenses. But it's going to switch. It always does this. It goes up and down, and running backs become less likely and then more likely. We're just in a bad time running back wise right now. So it's just a matter of time before it flips again, I think.
It's just not a sustainable way.
I hear you.
No, either. Zeke would be done if Tony Pollard. You know what I mean? So how long can you have that power back just plowing through people?
That's why the lifespan of a running back doesn't last long. But I don't think that changes.
Extend your lifespan by having.
I don't think teams care. I think they want. It's just whatever's going to win you the game now. Yeah. And that's what matters. So
I guess you can do that kind of like Zeke, and then when you see your running back starting to slow down, then get somebody else in there like a Pollard to take some of the load off.
And usually the 2-back system is the backs are very different. Like, one is the power back, one is the speed back, right? So you're and it's going to depend on the game flow which back you use the most. So if we're playing Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Tom Brady on the other side. I want my power back in there. We're going to slow this game down, and we're going to grind it out and keep him on the sideline. When it's not as good of a quarterback that you're not too worried about it, and you like the passing game against their defense or whatnot, you put your speed back in there. You run empty sets or put him in the slot and use him as a passing option more often. And so the power back's not that grinder, but I think it just goes up and down depending on situations. And there's not a lot of, I think the thing is there's a lot better quarterbacks coming in the league, more accurate, more powerful, more smarter guys that you don't need to lean on the running back as much right now, but there's still always going to be teams that need that, benefit from that, and so they're going to use that, I think.
I see you, Janae. Miss you too, girl.
It stinks for fantasy purposes because you just don't know what to do. And for as long as I've been playing fantasy, which hasn't been too long, but 3-4 years, it has been running backs the first few rounds. You want your good solid running backs. Now I'm looking at my teams dang, I wish I would have went maybe one running back and then a really good wide receiver, because these running backs just aren't scoring me the points that I need to win. Where I'd rather have at this point gotten a Miles Sanders, a CH, a Robinson, who did bad this week but has been good. Been good up until this week. So I would rather have just gotten a good. Well, and even these, Zeke, Najee, Jonathan Taylor's not been great. All these top tier running backs aren't scoring the points either. So you didn't know this was going to happen, but looking back on it, I'm I would rather have gotten a Diggs, a Justin Jefferson, a Cooper Kupp early on, and then gotten an okay running back, because they're all just okay.
Well, and from a fantasy standpoint, every team's going to usually have a running back injury. If they don't, it's because their guy is the guy and he takes over. Mm-hmm. And we're very early in the season where we're seeing either the two backs being healthy and they're kind of playing off each other, or the guy is the guy and they're getting hurt. We've seen a ton of injuries already. I'm sure we're going to talk about that later, especially with waiver wire pickups and stuff. But I think that's a big factor. I'm not panicking on running backs yet. I still think they're going to be vital for whoever wins fantasy leagues. You're going to have solid running backs. I think that's going to be a difference maker, because with being a pass heavy offense league wide, that means there's so many receivers, so many options to go through. I have a trouble in one league because I have 5 receivers and I don't know who to start because they're all on the same level. And they all score 12 to 15 points, and it's who do I start? Whereas running backs, I'm I know who my guys are. They may be doing right now, but they may be scoring 12 points. But that's going to be consistent and last longer than I think the receiver aspect of it.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.